And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time?
At this time.
And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the best, loudest sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the Qso-Vlog network with the phrase, if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. And today, we're currently featuring over 2,300 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. And you can access these recordings by going to YouTube and doing a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. And we also have a new series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature philosophical kinds of QSOs. That's KC9VKV Highlights on a YouTube search. Both KC9VKV Logbook and KC9VKV Highlights are segments of our main YouTube homepage of Jim's Radio Story, where we celebrate a 50-year career in commercial broadcasting, a 50-year journey from a 5-watt pirate radio station as a 12-year-old to production director of a major 50,000-watt AM broadcast facility. And the thing that makes this truly a unique story is that I have the actual audio masters from all along the way. You'll have to check it out and subscribe. Radio Story on a YouTube search. Our mission statement for the Qso-Vlog network is to establish a higher level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice for a higher degree of intelligibility through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon on the receive side, we're running 4 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia, trying to get the best copy from our 100-watt friends. Now the audio from these 4 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also on the selector is our local receiver audio. And today, our local receiver is running 3 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas. One aimed at 0 degrees, one aimed at 90 degrees, and the other, number 3, is aimed at 134 degrees. These are run as a directional scanner array with a manual voting system 6-position rotary selector. Also today on the transmit side, we'll be running our NOSWR specially oriented resonant dipole antenna. One leg of this resonant dipole runs broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg runs broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today, we'll be running our input source indicator. So when we switch from an internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube Qso-Vlog video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA-5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you'll protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you'll reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this part of the band has many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our Qso-Vlog net to keep their band pass to no wider than 100 to 2900. And again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And now let's check in and see if Charlie K1GZL is on frequency to bring us up to date on the latest 40-meter band propagation. Charlie's QTH is up north in northern New Hampshire, near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Border. Charlie, got a copy? Must not be on today.
It didn't sound like it. I usually hear him real well. So Charlie's taking a siesta and enjoying himself elsewhere. So hopefully Charlie will rejoin us next Friday. So anyway, this is the KC9VKV Qso-Vlog net. We're recording now live till 5. And my name is Jim, known in some circles as Dr. VKV. And again, we are recording now live till 5. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We'll post this recording up on YouTube in the next couple of days. So when you go to YouTube, just do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor, Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. And that will take you to our YouTube Qso-Vlog page, where we're currently featuring over 2,300 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. This recording will be cut number 1 in that series. And so without further ado, let's open it up. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Roger, but I think, Wayne, if you can copy me, you do need to work that mic a lot closer, because we're getting a lot of room noise with that microphone. So you need to work that microphone about 3 or 4 inches away to keep that room noise from just really competing with your voice, Roger.
Really competing with your voice, Roger. He sounds like he's in a big closet.
Yeah, he does, or a barrel. I'm not real sure which, but he does have a lot of echo. So it only means that he's working that microphone, about 2 foot away or 1.5 feet, and he needs to be right up on that mic, about 3 or 4 inches. Roger. Needs
to be right up on that mic, about 3 or 4 inches. Roger.
W14ZB, how's that?
Oh, gosh, that sounds really good. Is that Wayne there?
Oh, gosh, that sounds really good. Is that Wayne there?
Roger, I hate to tell you the mistake. I was on the wrong microphone. And you're right, the microphone that was picking up was about 2 feet away, and I was holding the mic in my hand, but it was off.
Yes, sir. All right. I thought I was going crazy because your signal dropped 20 dB, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. All right, so let's see. So that radio, you have set your compression at a 3. Is that a Roger?
You have set your compression at a 3. Is that a Roger?
Roger. Ready for the audio. That's about 2/3.
Okay, but what I want you to do is, the word is audio, but I want you to drag out the front of that. Drag out the and that becomes the test tone for your setup. And you say it just like a normal word, any other word in a Qso. You don't really stress it that hard. You just say it and drag it out, and then adjust your mic gain until your ALC is mid-scale, is a 2/3 actually.
Until your ALC is mid-scale, is a 2/3 actually.
Audio. That is 2/3.
Yes, sir. All right. Now, let's see. That's the 7610. Let's go to your equalization tone page, Roger.
Let's go to your equalization tone page, Roger.
Roger.
Yeah, let me know when you get there.
Okay, I'm there. I'm on transmit base.
All right. And what are you, you've got both treble and bass. Let's go to the treble side first. And where are you currently on your tone control? What number on the treble EQ are you running right at the moment?
Control. What number on the treble EQ are you running right at the moment?
Treble is +4.
Yes, sir. Okay. And what number on bass?
Yes, sir. Okay. And what number on bass?
Bass is 0.
Okay, move bass up one click, push on the bass frequency, and then why don't you give me about 10 seconds and tell me what you like about your radio, Roger?
About 10 seconds and tell me what you like about your radio, Roger.
Okay, bass is on +1. I've had this 7610 about 2 months now, and I had a 7300 before, and I like the extra features and display on this one. Great.
Roger that. And you have a button on that 7610 called Quick, Roger?
And you have a button on that 7610 called Quick, Roger? Roger.
All right, hit Quick and tell me what your drive reading is.
All right, hit Quick and tell me what your drive reading is.
Drive gain is at 40.
All right, take that up to 65. Drive gain up to 65.
65. Drive gain up to 65.
Yes, drive gain is 65.
All righty, then tell me the best thing you like about amateur radio for about 10 or 15 seconds, and let me listen to you.
Thing you like about amateur radio for about 10 or 15 seconds, and let me listen to you.
I think the thing I like, I enjoy the technology. I come from that kind of background, and I very much enjoy the people that I meet. I have some really good friends over many, many years.
Yes, sir, Wayne. And what kind of mic are you running at the moment?
Yes, sir, Wayne. And what kind of mic are you running at the moment?
I'm running the stock mic, the HM219.
Okay, that's the hand mic. Is that a Roger?
Okay, that's the hand mic. Is that a Roger?
Yes, and I have a windscreen over it.
Yes, sir. Best way to work that microphone, even with the windscreen, is pull it to the corner of your lips. Actually touch the corner of your lips and work across it. Do not work into it. Pull it to the corner of your lips and work across it, Roger?
Pull it to the corner of your lips and work across it, Roger?
Roger, I just did that. I've got it turned sideways now.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. And I'll be posting this up on YouTube before noon tomorrow, so if you want to hear it, go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That's KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. Will take you to this recording. This will be cut number 1 in a series of 2,300 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. And again, I'll have it up by noon tomorrow on a YouTube search. Roger?
Recordings. And again, I'll have it up by noon tomorrow on a YouTube search. Roger.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Someone commented about the width of my signal. Have too much drive?
I don't think so, but, it sounds really good here.
I don't think so, but, it sounds really good here.
I think someone's commenting on the bandwidth.
Yeah, who is that on the bandwidth there?
Well, I don't hear them now.
On the bandwidth there.
Yeah, I don't know. That's we've run 65 on most 7610s, and it just fattens it up, and it really sounds good. So if you want to hear it, go to YouTube and do that call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word highlights, and that'll take you right there, Roger.
Followed by the word highlights, and that'll take you right there, Roger.
Okay, let me check one thing. I'm going to make a change, and you tell me your perception of it just a moment.
All righty.
Okay, compared with where I was, what difference do you notice, and is it better or worse?
That's about 4 dB hotter than where you were.
That's about 4 dB hotter than where you were.
Is it good, or do I need to go back?
That's good. What did you do?
That's good. What did you do?
Well, I'd like your opinion first, of whether it helped or hurt.
All right, I'm recalibrated you to 0 level where you are. So do your magic again and do the other thing, and let me look at the difference, Roger.
Do your magic again and do the other thing, and let me look at the difference, Roger.
Okay, here's where you had set me. Here's the setting I had with you.
All righty.
New setting. I was curious about the difference.
Oh, I'm sorry. There is none. That was exactly the same. If you switched right there, both were the same, Roger.
If you switched right there, both were the same, Roger.
Now, that is in regards to the Georgia SDR. I'm copying you on the Georgia SDR. I can try copying you on my local antenna, maybe, and see if that would make a difference.
Copying you on my local antenna, maybe, and see if that would make a difference.
We kind of double. I listen on the SDRs myself, just to make adjustments. And what I did was go up on compression. It doesn't seem to make much difference on a 7610.
Roger, the thing is, if you cease to speak for a second or so, you have if you go past a 3, you'll have this suck up underneath you, and that's the whole thing about that. We want to be as transparent about things as we can, and a 3 and a 6 are the same as far as the compressor actually working on the word itself. A 3 and a 6 are the same. The difference is that with a 6 you have suck up between the words, Roger.
The 6 you have suck up between the words, Roger.
Roger. I just picked up the background noise. Okay. Thank you very much, Jim. I appreciate your time. KC9VKV, W4TZB.
Roger. Good sound there, sir. 73. And you have a good afternoon and a beautiful weekend. If you get a chance, join us next Friday. We'd love to have you. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
It was a Sierra India station out there. Sierra India station. Come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Sierra India station. Come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Roger. It's Kilo 8 Sierra India. Over.
Sierra India, Roger. And what's your name there?
Sierra India, Roger. And what's your name there?
Name here is Jim, Juliet, India, Mike, and we're located down in southeast Virginia. Over.
Roger. And what radio are you running this afternoon, Jim?
Roger. And what radio are you running this afternoon, Jim?
I'm running a TS890 with TR781 microphone. How's it sound?
Yes, sir. Well, let's review what we've got there. First, we want to be in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandpass. It's called wide 100 to 2900 transmit bandpass, Roger. And if you're unfamiliar with that, just take a note and check that out later, Roger.
If you're unfamiliar with that, just take a note and check that out later, Roger.
Yeah, roger, roger. Hang on just a second. I'm trying to remember which button to push to get to there.
Probably be in settings if you have something called settings.
Probably be in settings if you have something called settings.
Oh, yeah. I got it.
And 100 to 2900 is the preferred setting of the transmit bandpass.
The preferred setting of the transmit bandpass.
Not nice to tune up on an active frequency. Please take it 5 up or 5 down. Do not tune up on an active frequency.
5 up or 5 down. Do not tune up on an active frequency.
Love how people listen.
Love how people listen.
Okay, that's where I have it set now. What's it sound like?
Sounds good. All right, now our setup procedure starts with you engaging your compressor at a 3. It's a token amount, something you'll never hear on the air, but it'll help you. And it's a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how your input to your compressor is labeled. Roger?
How your input to your compressor is labeled. Roger?
Yeah, roger. Well, that's how I'm running it right now. It's in, and it's at 30% in and 60% out.
Okay, make that 50% out. 30 in, 50 out. Roger?
Make that 50% out. 30 in, 50 out. Roger?
If you can do that easily, it'd be a good thing. 30 in, 50 out.
Do that easily. It'd be a good thing. 30 in, 50 out.
Okay, that's where it is now.
Okay, great. Then, Jim, I want you to go to the ALC with mic gain in hand, and as you say the magic word audio, and I want you to drag the front out, stretch the front of the audio out, and you become a human test generator. And as you do that, I want you to adjust your mic gain until your ALC is running 2/3. Roger?
Mic gain until your ALC is running 2/3. Roger?
Okay, audio. Well, where is it? Here we go. Audio. Audio.
Is that about got it there? 2/3 on that beautiful magic word?
Audio. Beautiful magic word.
Okay, there it is.
All right, sir. Now I'll move to your tone equalization page, your tone control equalization page.
Equalization page. Your tone control equalization page.
Sorry, Jim, we doubled. I need for you to move to your equalization page, your tone control, Roger.
You move to your equalization page, your tone control, Roger.
Well, I can't believe that guy. I don't know where he's coming from, but he's at 0 level. I don't know. Well, we've been here since for half an hour, and I don't know where he came from. But anyway, so we're on your equalization tone control page.
We're on your equalization tone control page.
Yes.
Alrighty, and I want you to tell me in 10 seconds or so about your antenna system, and let me listen to you.
Tell me in 10 seconds or so about your antenna system, and let me listen to you.
Okay, well, yeah. Simple. It's a modified doublet. It's it's in a kind of a sloping fashion because I don't have anything tall enough out in the back part of the lot yet to get it where I need it to be. But anyway, it's just a modified doublet. Over.
Alrighty, Jim. I want you to take your treble. What kind of an equalizer do you have? Is it a three control equalizer, or is it an 8, or what kind of equalizer is that?
Equalizer, or is it an 8, or what kind of equalizer is that?
It's a 12 band, I think.
Okay, sir, I want everything from 400 cycles to 1.6 flat. So flatten every control from 400 cycles to 1.6K, cut or minus 0 in the flat mode, Roger?
Cut or minus 0 in the flat mode, Roger?
Adjusted now.
Alrighty, now do you have, how does your top end go? Is it like 2, 4, 8, like that? Or can you give me a specific frequency? Can you change your frequencies? Can you give me a 2.7 somewhere?
Change your frequencies. Can you give me a 2.7 somewhere?
Yeah, I do have a 2.7. It goes, it went from 1.5 to 1.8, 2.1, 2.4, 2.7, 3, 3.3, 3.6, 3.9, 4.2, 4.5, 4.8, 5.1.
All right, let's flatten everything. Let's see, we flattened everything from 400 to 1.6. Let's flatten everything from 1.6 on up. Everything from 1.6 on up, just flatten those, and we'll start at 2.7 when we start adjusting. So everything flat. Now from 1.6 on up, Roger?
Now from 1.6 on up, Roger?
Yeah, Roger.
All right, now I want you to go to 2.7. Can you give me a bandwidth? Can you give me a shape on your bandwidth of the equalizer? Can you give me a 4?
Give me a shape on your bandwidth of the equalizer. Can you give me a 4?
I think the question would be, do you have 3 controls for each frequency, like the frequency, the intensity, and the shape of it, how wide it is? Do you have that or no?
The shape of it, how wide it is. Do you have that or no?
No, I do not.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. So we go 2.7 plus 6. 2.7 plus 6K, 6 clicks, Roger? 2.7K plus 6 clicks.
2.7K plus 6 clicks.
Okay, that's what I've got now.
Alrighty, and tell me about the best thing you like about your radio, Roger, Roger?
Alrighty, and tell me about the best thing you like about your radio, Roger, Roger?
Oh, well, I tell you what, it's a fantastic CW machine, and it's just a really quality built radio. I really enjoy it. I do not regret spending the money, and in fact, I wish I'd have done it sooner. Over.
Yes, sir, Jim. Now, can you give me 3 more clicks treble boost? What's your top-end treble boost capabilities? Is it 10 or 15?
Treble boost capabilities, is it 10 or 15?
No, 6 is maxed out.
All right, well, go ahead up to 6 then. Go ahead on up to 6 on that 2.7 control, Roger.
Go ahead on up to 6 on that 2.7 control, Roger.
Well, I am at 6.
Oh, all right. Gosh, I wish that guy didn't have so much garbage in his on my frequency. But anyway, so I'd like to hear you again a little bit. Tell me about the best thing you like about amateur radio, Roger, and I'll look around and see if I can find a better path for us and get rid of that guy.
Amateur radio, Roger, and I'll look around and see if I can find a better path for us and get rid of that guy.
Yeah, okay. Well, things to do and modes to operate and everything else. I enjoy just about all of it, other than I'm not a contester. But I understand the people that do that like it, and that's all good, all well and good. It's just not for me. Over.
Roger, Roger. Now, Jim, what kind of mic are you using there?
Roger, Roger. Now, Jim, what kind of mic are you using there?
It's PR781.
And are you about 4 inches away from that mic? 3 to 4 inches away?
About 4 inches away from that mic, 3 to 4 inches away.
Yes, thereabouts. Yeah, that's about, maybe a little closer than that.
All right, I want you to pull back to about 3 inches, 3.5 to 4 inches, and see if we can get a little more top end. You could be forcing bass end effects by proximity. So if we can pull you back off that mic just a little bit, see if that top end comes up some. I don't, we could go, if you can shift frequencies, go to the one below that 2.7. Can you put it on 2.7 also, the one below 2.7?
2.7. Can you put it on 2.7 also, the one below 2.7?
I'd say put it on 2.6. Put it on 2.6. The one below 2.7, put it on 2.6, and then give it about 5 clicks boost. 5 clicks boost on 2.6. Roger?
5 clicks boost on 2.6. Roger?
Well, I have a 2.4, and I set it up 6 dB off, equal to the 2.7.
Alrighty. That's sounding better there. Let's see. Tell me about the best thing you like about ham radio.
Better there. Tell me about the best thing you like about ham radio.
Well, like I say, I really enjoy the diversity and meeting a lot of people, and I guess that's a lot of it, is getting to meet a lot of people and a lot of different people and learning things about other cultures and all that. It's pretty interesting.
Yes, sir. Now, let's go to your center control, and we want everything from 400 cycles to 1.6 be flat. Everything from 1.6 to 400 cycles should be flat. Roger?
1.6 to 400 cycles should be flat. Roger?
And that should be right in the middle. Those controls should be right in the middle, neither cut nor boost. They should be flat, Roger.
Right in the middle, neither cut nor boost. They should be flat, Roger.
No, well, I don't have that control. I've just got, like I say, this multi-band equalizer.
Yes, sir. Well, you have other frequencies in there you're currently boosting 2.7 to 2.6. So every control below that, down to 400 cycles, should be flat. Right? You should set those neither cut nor boost, just flat. No push, no cut. Roger?
Neither cut nor boost, just flat. No push, no cut. Roger?
Yeah, Roger. Well, actually, they're at -1 right now.
Okay, you should take all those to 0, because the thing is, even a bad microphone is 2 to 1 be flat between in the mids. So we don't want to discolor that. We want to keep those mids flat, and that's usually the way. See, a modern equalizer contributes from the standpoint of getting the top end balanced to the mid range and the bottom end balanced to the mid range. And if you screw the mid range, it is so much more difficult for the top and the bottom to catch up. So we want everything from 1.6 to 400 cycles be flat. Cut or boost, no, just flat level. Roger?
Cut or boost, no, just flat level. Roger?
Yeah, Roger. Well, everything below 2.4 kilohertz is at 0 right now.
Alrighty. Now, what do you have about 200 cycles or so?
Alrighty. Now, what do you have about 200 cycles or so?
Do you have 198, 150, 250?
Do you have 198, 150, 250?
I have 300, 600, 900, 1.2, 1.5, 1.8, 2.1.
All right, and what is, we want that 300 also flat, and you have 2 undisclosed controls below 300 cycles. Is that a Roger?
Controls below 300 cycles. Is that a Roger?
Yeah, I have one. I have one at 0, one at 0.3, one at 0.6, one at 0.9, and then it goes 1.2, 1.5, 1.8, 2.1 kilohertz.
Okay, 2.1. Wait. That's 2.1K. What do you have again in that bottom? I'm looking for something below 300 cycles. We're talking about a base frequency there. Something below 300 cycles, like 200 cycles, is the ideal place. But if you only have 300 cycles, then we'll deal with that, Roger.
If you only have 300 cycles, then we'll deal with that, Roger.
Okay, well, I have one below 300 cycles that says 0.
Yeah, I don't like that. That sounds like something that, well, there's all kinds of interpretation on that, but let's leave that one. Let's go to 300 cycles, and I want you to bring 300 cycles up 3 clicks, and let me listen to you.
300 cycles up 3 clicks, and let me listen to you.
Okay, there's 300 cycles up 3 clicks.
All right, take it back 1 click. Take it back 1 click from where you are just then. 1 click minus from where you were just then.
Click from where you are just then. 1 click minus from where you were just then.
Okay, there's 2, and that's actually equivalent of 2 dB.
Roger. All right, and tell me, tell me the most exciting contact that you've had so far in about 15 seconds or so.
Contact that you've had so far in about 15 seconds or so.
Okay, well, I think probably the one that got me most excited was when I worked the International Space Station one night as they were passing over, and I heard them in there, and I gave a call out, and doggone if they didn't come back to me, and so that was pretty interesting. Colonel Wheelock was the ham on board at the time, and so I got to chat with him for a couple of minutes anyway. Over.
Yes, sir. Okay, Jim, let's go back up to that 2.6K and push that on up as far as it'll go to match the 2.7. Both of those should be maxed out. 2.7, 2.6 should be maxed out, and let me listen to you.
Out. 2.7, 2.6 should be maxed out, and let me listen to you.
Okay, well, they are maxed out. What I've got is 2.4, and then it jumps to 2.7, and then it goes to 3. And 2.4 and 2.7 are both at +6.
Roger, and that's the normal progression of that tone is 2.4, 2.7, Roger?
Tone is 2.4, 2.7, Roger?
Yeah, Roger, then it jumps to 3.
Okay, what's the one above 2.7? What is that one?
Okay, what's the one above 2.7? What is that one?
Right now I've got it at +6. Basically it starts at 0, and then it goes 300 hertz up for each band.
Okay, so it doesn't go 1 kc, 2 kc, 4 kc, 8 kc, it doesn't do that?
1 kc, 2 kc, 4 kc, 8 kc, doesn't do that?
Negative. When they go from here, it goes to 3, then 3.3, 3.6, 3.9, 4.2, 4.5, 4.8, and 5.1.
Yeah. Some lovely frequencies, but they don't help a bunch, because what we want to do is try to get you nice and bright at a 2.9, you know, and those upper frequencies are, you know, not good, because we're cutting off the thing at 2.9. And so, but you can try that 3. Try advancing that 3K up to max out, and let me listen to you.
3K up to max out, and let me listen to you.
I tell you what, Jim, what did you say that microphone was that you're using now?
I tell you what, Jim, what did you say that microphone was that you're using now?
It's a PR781, Heil PR781.
Okay, and you don't have anything in front of it. You're talking, how far away again are you from it?
Don't have anything in front of it. You're talking, how far away again are you from it?
Well, now I'm about 3 or 4 inches away.
Okay, I want you to back up about 2 inches and let me listen to you.
Okay, I want you to back up about 2 inches and let me listen to you.
Okay, now I'm about probably 6 inches away from it.
Okay, that you're usually when you move further off mic, your level drops. But there's another thing: your baseline drops as you move further off. And where you were last, I think, was just about as best we're going to do. So I want you to run that mic just where you were last. There, about what 4 inches away or 5?
Just where you were last. There, about what 4 inches away or 5?
Yeah, probably about 4 inches away right now.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing. But I want you to go back to your ALC now and reset your ALC level at the new position on your microphone. You know, about 4 or 5 inches, whatever that was last. And, the magic word is audio. Drag the front out, audio. Set the level of 2/3 on the ALC by mic gain control.
The level of 2/3 on the ALC by mic gain control.
Audio, 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 audio. Hello. I'm just now starting to get some deflection on ALC. Hello, audio, audio, audio. There you go, about 3/4.
Yes, sir. About 2/3 is the better, just slightly higher than halfway. Roger?
About 2/3 is the better, just slightly higher than halfway. Roger?
Yeah, Roger. Audio, audio. There it is.
Alrighty, and I want you to tell me again about your antenna system and let me listen to you.
And I want you to tell me again about your antenna system and let me listen to you.
Okay, as I say, it's basically a doublet that's slightly modified. It's actually only about 110 feet long, but it's supposed to work all between 80 and down to 10 meters. Runs through, of course, I have twin lead coming to a bowline just outside the shack and then coax into the radio. Over.
Yes, sir. That sounds pretty good. That mic doesn't have a lot of top end. Do you have any switches on the back of that to change the impedance or something, just out of curiosity?
Back of that to change the impedance or something, just out of curiosity?
Negative. It's just like it is coming out of the box.
Yes, sir. Okay. Just doesn't have enough top end, in my opinion. Maybe at some point you could run across a condenser microphone or electret microphone, bass desk mic that you could swap with that. I'm not sure if your radio would support an electret microphone directly, but an electret microphone has a lot better top end response than a dynamic microphone, and you do need just a little more top end, and we've tried to get you that more top end. I don't want to go lower than that 2.6 or whatever that was, and I don't want to go too much higher than 2.7. 3 is really too high. But anyway, I think you're sounding great, and if you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube, do that call it a search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, will take you to this recording. Roger?
VKV, followed by the word logbook, will take you to this recording. Roger?
Yeah, Roger. I'll be looking out for that tomorrow when you post them. It'd be interesting to see how it actually sounds. I will say I have a very, very deep voice, which is sometimes a problem on Sideman. But anyway, I appreciate your help.
Yes, sir, Jim. Well, you have very excellent clarity and your 3 dB dynamic range, so your ALC is exactly where it needs to be. And you don't have a lot of bottom end, but you do have some, and you have excellent clarity, and that's the main thing. So we've made you loud with crystal clear words. So, again, if you get able to join us next Friday, we'd love to have you. And I'll say you're 73 for now, Roger.
Join us next Friday. We'd love to have you. And I'll say you're 73 for now, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Appreciate it, Jim, and we'll hopefully catch you in here maybe next week. 73.
Yes, sir. And what I was looking for on that mic is the S is the syllabic range, just a little bit more in the syllabic range. And that's why I think if you ever got a chance to get an electret microphone, a desk electret microphone, I think would be just perfect for you. So 73, sir, you have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Charlie Golf Yankee. How's my audio?
I got a CG Charlie Golf Yankee. What's the front part of that? Give me that call sign again slowly, phonetically.
Charlie Golf Yankee. What's the front part of that? Give me that call sign again slowly, phonetically.
Roger, Jim, the call is Kilo Charlie 4, Charlie Golf Yankee. The name is Larry. I talked to you before, I believe it was last Friday, maybe it was Friday before. And you helped me out with audio. And say hello, and I appreciate the help. And if you could give me a signal report, I'm trying out a new antenna this evening, Roger.
Roger. Now, let me review your call sign, because I was in the midst of trying to pull you out. And I pulled you out down in Georgia. I was up in Milford, Pennsylvania, and I finally found you down in Georgia. But I have Kilo Charlie 4 Charlie Golf Yankee. Is that a Roger?
I have Kilo Charlie 4 Charlie Golf Yankee. Is that a Roger?
That's a Roger.
Already, and what's the name there?
Already, and what's the name there?
The name is Larry, Lima, Alpha, Romeo, Yankee.
Roger, Larry. And where are you located, sir?
Roger, Larry. And where are you located, sir?
I am located in Covington, Georgia. Roger.
Ah, that's why my Atlanta SDR popped up so well. And Larry, what radio are you running today, sir?
SDR popped up so well. And Larry, what radio are you running today, sir?
Roger, it's a Kenwood Tango Sugar 590 Sugar Golf.
590 Sugar Golf, Roger. Tango Sugar 590 Sugar Golf.
Sugar Golf, Roger. Tango Sugar 590 Sugar Golf.
Roger, Kenwood TS 590SG. Roger.
All right, Larry. So we have worked with before on your on this radio. Is that a Roger?
We have worked with before on your on this radio. Is that a Roger?
That's a Roger. I believe it was last Friday. You helped me out before the net, actually. And later on, I contacted you after the net, and we did a recording, and I listened to it, and it sounded great. However, at that time, I was running a different antenna, and you gave me a signal report of 10 or 12 over on your local antenna. So, using now. Go ahead.
So I just went to my local antenna and you were banging away there. Why don't you give me about 10 seconds, tell me about your antenna system, and I'll run through my local antennas, Roger?
Okay, Roger. Yeah, I was running a homebrew 80-meter, 40-meter dial that I made myself, and I switched that out, and the antenna that I'm running now is called a Ultimax D-Extreme. The Ultimax D-Extreme, the 100 version. So 66-foot in-fed wire with a transformer on it. Go ahead.
Roger, Larry. Well, you know, the way I do it is I have such a low front end RF gain-wise in the receiver that I'm actually using the white noise as a S-meter reading when you, in other words, I have a VU meter and I'll set 0 level on your peaks, and then when you cease transmitting, the only thing left is noise. So, and that's what I would give as a noise, as a reading. You would be like a 12 over my noise level. And I had somebody doing a great tune-up procedure. I don't know, and I wish they would take it 5 up, 5 down, or somewhere other than tuning up on an active frequency. That's not very polite to do. But so I had that tone in there, and that tone was down around -10. So you were good to -10 for sure. It fell back to the tone. If the tone wasn't in there, I'm not sure. So I can't really say for sure if there was a gain from where you were the last time we talked or not. But you are very readable, Roger.
Roger, yeah, I was just kind of looking for a reference, as to how I was making it up there to your QTH. So I appreciate the information there and the QSO, and hello to everyone else that might be on the net, and we'll stand by and listen for someone else to get in there, and maybe you could help them out. KC9VKV, KC4CGY.
Roger, Larry. Stand by just a moment. If the guy tuning would just back off for just a minute, I'll tell you what the noise level is.
Yeah, I can barely hear him here on my end.
Well, I can barely hear him down on my Georgia SDR too, but I'm trying to get you a level on my local antenna like we did last. So let me see where he is. Well, he's down around -15 now, so you're good to like -13. You're about 13 dB above my noise level, Roger. So I would say, what you can't really, you have to take into consideration yesterday versus today, propagation-wise, or last week, or whatever. But you sound really good, sir. That's about what I can say to you.
Roger. Well, that's good in my book. At least I didn't do anything that would make it any worse than what it was. It is at least as good as it was, or hopefully it'll be better. And like you say, propagation does play a big part in all of this. Appreciate it, Jim.
Yes, sir, Larry. Now, the best way is never destroy an old antenna. Keep where you were, and enjoy where you are, and get yourself an A-B switch that you can go back to where you were and up to where you are. And then you can compare those back and forth, and without being able to compare where you were with where you are, you don't know where progress is. So it's very important that you keep that old antenna as you build a new antenna, and then get you an A-B switch so you can switch back and forth. That's the only way you can truly know which way you're going, because you're comparing those two antennas in real time, and you can compare them and receive. That's what I'll do a lot, and look and see which one is hotter as far as the incoming signal. And 2 to 1, that antenna will be hotter in transmit back to where you're coming from. Because usually channels are reciprocal, and if the signal's hotter on one antenna in receive, that same antenna will be hotter in transmit. Roger.
Roger, yeah, that's a good point. Well, I definitely have the old antenna. I have not destroyed it. I did roll it up, and I've got it put in my stash there of other antennas that I've created over the years. My problem at this point is I only have one piece of coax coming into the shack here, so I would have to make some arrangements to take care of that. But definitely a good point, and I will keep that in mind, and hopefully one day I can accomplish that. KC9VKV, KC4CGY.
Roger, Larry. Yes, and you go ahead, and if you can, you get you another piece of coax there, get that other antenna, and also that one antenna usually sees things a little bit different than the other antenna, particularly if they're juxtaposed, one east and west, one north and south, or whatever, and you will always get a second opinion on a second antenna. And sometimes that second antenna can be 6-10 dB hotter than the other antenna. The whole thing is the right antenna at the right place at the right time. So the name of the game is options. So you want to have at least 2 options, where you think you are and where you think you were, and then you compare those, Roger, and see which one is more hotter than the other, Roger.
And see which one is more hotter than the other, Roger.
Roger. Well, the old antenna was running north and south, and this antenna is running southwest. So I'm not sure if that makes a difference or not, but I'm sure the way it bounces off the lobe would definitely key a factor in there, Roger.
Yes, sir. Well, you know, if you've ever seen propagation drawings of how a horizontal wire radiates broadside to the wire, you know, I'm not sure I accept all of that, but I do accept the premise that a long wire radiates broadside to the wire, and I know it doesn't radiate off the ends, so it has to radiate somewhere. So 2 to 1, it's going to radiate off the broadside, you know. So if you have, you know, when you go to put that other antenna up, you might as well just put it up, 90 degrees to the other antenna, so they are, juxtaposed to each other, and you have one that's like north and south and one that's east and west, and you can use those to switch back and forth. That would give you the best comparison between those 2 antennas, you know, and you'll find that, if one might not be hot, the other one would, you know, and vice versa.
If one might not be hot, the other one would, you know, and vice versa.
Roger. Well, if I put the old antenna back up where it was, it would definitely be running 90 degrees off of the one that I'm talking on now. So I will definitely take a look at that and put that into work. It's all about having fun, Roger.
Yes, sir. It's all about options. The more receive options you have, the better off you are. And if if you're swapping your transmit antenna at the same time, you know, there you go. So, like in my situation, I'm always transmitting on my horizontal dipole antenna. Always transmitting on my dipole, but I have 3 10-foot vertical magnetic loops for receive also. One and I run them as a scanner. One is at 0 degrees, and one is 90 degrees to that, and the other's at 136 degrees. So I have pretty much all angles covered in my 10-foot vertical magnetic loops, Roger.
Angles covered in my 10-foot vertical magnetic loops, Roger. Okay, Roger. And I'm still running 100 watts. I'm only running 100 watts, running barefoot with this radio here. The best it'll put out there. So I absolutely understand where you're coming from.
Yes, sir. And I will post this up by noon tomorrow. And you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, will take you directly to this recording. And again, I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. 73, Larry, and we'll catch you later, sir. Have a good afternoon and a beautiful weekend. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
America 3, Juliet Tango.
Juliet Tango, come back with that whole call sign, sir.
Juliet Tango, come back with that whole call sign, sir.
Yeah, KC9 Victor, King Victor. This is Victor, America 3, Juliet Tango, VA3JT. Jim at the mic. Good afternoon, Doctor. How are you doing?
Very good, sir. How are you doing this afternoon?
Very good, sir. How are you doing this afternoon?
Absolutely fantastic. Just great to hear your voice. Just come in. I spent the last 4 days working on the antenna, the Hustler 6BTV, backyard's 20 by 20. I had a dock. It's a little too much to get off the stand. I put it on the tilt. It's working fine. I took all your advice. It's working fine. I took all your advice, did everything you asked me to do, and I can't believe the reports I'm getting. Back to you, and a big hug from Canada to our friends in America, and happy Thanksgiving. KC9VKV, Victor Alpha 3, Juliet Tango.
Roger, Jim. Now, what radio are you running today?
Roger, Jim. Now, what radio are you running today?
I call 7300.
All right, and just out of curiosity, what is your mic level right at the moment, Jim?
And I bought
Just out of curiosity, what is your mic level right at the moment, Jim?
Oh, I bought the SM30 mic. Hold on, I'm going to tell you.
No, just your internal mic level, what it is.
Percent.
No, just your internal mic level, what it is.
Yeah, 60.
Okay, take that back to 50.
Okay, take that back to 50.
Okay, back to 50, and the compression is at number 4.
All right, and take that compressor back to 3. I'm just trying to give you a little bit of breathing space in your audio. You were up there around 2 dB dynamic range, and I'd like to see you at about 3 dB dynamic range. You sound so much more friendly, if you know what I mean. Your words have life to them, as opposed to being kind of blurry up towards the top. Roger?
Life to them, as opposed to being kind of blurry up towards the top. Roger?
Roger. It's now at compression 3. I bought the SM30 mic, and I'm about 4 inches away from the mic. How's that, Doctor?
Yes, sir. That's just as beautiful, and you have just a beautiful top end. So it's all go for liftoff there, buddy. And we are recording, and if you want to hear that beautiful sound, go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook on a YouTube search, and we'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. And you're just beautiful. We're just a little hot there in the beginning, but now you're just perfect.
You're just beautiful. We're just a little hot there in the beginning, but now you're just perfect.
Thank you, Doctor. KC9VKV, Victor America 3, Japan Tango. Thank you so much. I appreciate it since day one that we met, probably about a year or so ago, and everything you told me to do, like a good officer, this private did it, and the SWR is amazing without a tuner, and the audio and the signal reports. Now the next thing to do is to put a linear on it. Thank you so much. I hope everything is well with you and your lovely family. We look forward to talking to you again, and I will listen on live hookup tomorrow. Kilo Charlie 9, Kilo Victor. This is Victor America 3, Japan Tango.
Roger, Jim, and just the way you were working that the most of the way last time is just perfect. That microphone just has such a nice top end. It just wraps your words in silk. It's just beautiful, just perfect. Don't change a thing from the settings that I just gave you. Keep them right there, because I want you to be sounding always very pleasant. I don't want you to sound like you're aggressive, like you're headed towards the moon with a 2 dB or 1 dB dynamic range. Yeah, you deserve the best, and I think where you are now is just absolutely perfect.
You deserve the best, and I think where you are now is just absolutely perfect.
Okay, I tell you what I just did. The cutoff switch under the microphone, I turned that off. Did it make a difference?
Well, I'll tell you what, why don't you do this? Why don't you give me a 10 count, and at 5, I want you to switch that back to where it was. So give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, switch, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, switch, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, Roger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switched. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I really like the last one best. I think that's just perfect, Roger.
I really like the last one best. I think that's just perfect, Roger.
Leave it where it is. Don't turn the switch on. Keep it turned off, correct?
Yes, sir. Just like you were just that last transmission. Just perfect.
Yes, sir. Just like you were
turned on.
that last transmission.
Perfect, Doc.
I'm sorry. Just where you were is just perfect. Don't do a thing, Roger.
Just where you were is just perfect. Don't do a thing, Roger.
Okay. Oh, I put it back to the on position. I'm going to turn it off now. Okay, the switch is now turned off.
Yes, sir. Just leave it just like that. Take another piece of Gorilla Tape and tape that switch just like it is. Tape it down so it doesn't move, Roger.
Tape that switch just like it is. Tape it down so it doesn't move, Roger.
I'm glad you said Gorilla Tape. My favorite person whom I've met is Johnny Weissmuller, Tarzan, and I'll go over to the Metro Zoo and get some Gorilla Tape.
Yes, sir. Boy, that stuff is strong. That's about 3-ply regular tape. It really does a great job. I use it all the time. Sometimes I put 2 layers of Gorilla Tape. I didn't take a jackhammer to take it off, Roger.
Layers of Gorilla Tape. I didn't take a jackhammer to take it off, Roger.
No, that's for sure. By the way, you're 5'9 plus 15. 5'9 plus 15, Dr. Oler.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm pushing as hard as I can, Jim. You know, I'm just, throwing it out there, and somebody else is making decision where it's going there, Roger.
Throwing it out there, and somebody else is making decision where it's going there, Roger.
Roger. All right, nice to hear you. Since the last time I talked to you, I went back to teaching the military, and it's been keeping me busy with the Canadian Signal Corps. And I've been using your information on their equipment, and it's made it a tremendous experience. So on behalf of the Canadian military and myself, thank you for your kind advice over the last year. Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor Victor America 3 Juliet Tango for any final.
Roger, Jim. Well, I have checked your QRZ page, and it's most impressive, particularly your work on that schooner mast and replacing that antenna, Roger.
On that schooner mast and replacing that antenna, Roger.
Oh, yeah, Roger. It's the best thing I ever did at 70 years of age. Why should I be pulling at my age, and not to be braggadocious, with open heart surgery, recovering, and a knee, lifting that 6BTV off the little piece of pipe? And I read about it, and I says, I was a little afraid to begin with, so I got one of the corporals to help me, and we installed it a couple of days ago. And it's so easy. It's a walk in the park. This is not a commercial for Hustler or anything like that. I've had enough Hustlers in my life, both of them. And what do you call it? You just pick it up, walk back, and it's fun. It is real fun working on the antenna again, because that's the part of the hobby that I really enjoy. Over.
Yes, sir. But now, sometimes we have to assign people delegation. That is the mark of the true inspiration. There is one that can delegate things, particularly that require altitude, to the right person to do it. I mean, it's sometimes we have to protect ourselves, and delegation is one way to do that, Roger.
Protect ourselves, and delegation is one way to do that, Roger.
Roger. So there we have it. It's 444, which reminds me of my old Shure microphone on the old equipment. Doctor, it's an honor and a pleasure, and look forward to talking with you. Next time you hear me, hopefully I'll have a linear hooked up to this ICOM 7300. And let me say one thing. I thought I was a little terrified when I bought the ICOM 7300, because when you get old, the eyesight's not the same. And I says, I wonder if I'll be able to see that screen. Well, besides taking the Lutein and the vitamin C, that screen is amazing. And the other day, I got a monitor, and I've mirrored the ICOM onto the monitor. I've never had so much fun since I got my license in 1964. Back to you.
Yes, sir, Jim. Now, I don't want to entice you, but I want you to think about something. The way that 7300 breaks out on a big screen is you should see the way a 7610 breaks out on a big screen. The 7610 takes everything that's on that screen out to the big screen. The 7300 just takes part of it out. So read up on that 7610 output into a large monitor and see what that if that entices you, Roger.
Monitor and see what that if that entices you, Roger.
It will. Now, I don't know if you're a psychic or what, but for Christmas, I was thinking, I have a good friend in the military. He wants to, he would like to have my 7300, and of course, the price has gone up, but that's okay. I'll come back a little bit, and I seriously, it's a 9 out of 10, and the XYL doesn't mind. I'm seriously thinking of trading the 7300 for the 7610. I was going to go for the 7610 first, and I'll admit I made the mistake, but I still love the 7300. And you are correct again. That'll be my Christmas present, the 7610 KC9VKV. Victor America 3 Japan Tango.
Roger, Jim. Now my challenge will be to get that 7610 sounding as good as your 7300. I mean, you can't believe it. Just beautiful. You got to check it out on YouTube. Let me say 73, sir, and always a pleasure. You have a great afternoon, a beautiful weekend, Roger.
And always a pleasure. You have a great afternoon, a beautiful weekend, Roger.
Roger. And happy Thanksgiving, and also it's great to be America's neighbor, let me tell you that. And I went to school in America, graduated there at seminary, and got some grandkids still living there, and we always enjoying going south of the border. KC9VKV, Victor America 3 Japan Tango, after closing down after a most enjoyable QSO. 7-3, God bless America, and God bless you, Dr. J.
Yes, sir, Jim. 73 up that way, sir, and you have a great afternoon and just a beautiful weekend. If you get a chance, join us next Friday. I'd love to have you as always. 73. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo 4 Lima Japan Echo.
Lima Japan Echo. Jim, what's going on, sir?
Lima Japan Echo. Jim, what's going on, sir?
Yeah. Well, we're headed over to my daughter's house, and we're going to finish up the Thanksgiving stuff, but we had to stop at grocery today. We got to get some more today to put with it there. But anyway, I just want to say hi to you, and it's so good to hear you, man. And I hope you had a good day to you. It's so good to hear you, man. And you had a good Thanksgiving yesterday. Many happy Thanksgivings in the future also to you. Thanksgivings in the future also to you there. I hope you're doing okay. KC9VKV, K4LJ.
Roger, Jim, you're in your mobile. Is that a Roger?
Roger, Jim, you're in your mobile. Is that a Roger?
Yeah, we're in the truck. We're on the Kenwood 440.
Yes, sir. I got about 20 over sideband garbage coming in, but you're making it through. And I went through and tried to find some better antennas, but I'm on Milford. And you're about a 20 over, but this trash is about 30 over, Roger.
You're about a 20 over, but this trash is about 30 over, Roger.
I am not surprised because I can tell when it's the stuff around on the side and everything, the way this rig reacts to it. This rig has got a funny layout compared to my other ones of dealing with stuff like this. Myself today, Roger.
Yes, sir. Now, I did catch you a little bit on my my dipole antenna. Did not have any of the stuff, but it just didn't have the signal strength that Milford had. Roger?
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll go ahead and say that here. I know you got plenty left here. You got a few minutes left, and some people out there probably need your help with the audio stuff, and I just want to say hi.
Roger, Jim, thanks for dropping by, sir. 73 that way, and we'll have this uploaded to YouTube by tomorrow at noon. So 73, pleasant trip, and we'll see you next week if we get a chance. Roger?
Yeah, Roger. We had an accident. I hit my VFO here. Am I still here?
Yes, you're dead on now, Roger.
Okay. Yeah, we had a plastic bag with some stuff in it that actually fell off the console and hit the radio here in the floor. It's terrible. All right, 7-3s. Happy Thanksgiving again, and the holidays coming up, Christmas and New Year's and everything. And you're doing good. You're sounding great. You're sounding better than you ever sounded. K4LJE.
Roger, Jim. And when you look back, take a look at that chevron on the right side that shows you the different positions, and you can keep up with where I'm going as far as my receive input, whether I'm on an SDR or my local antennas. And on my local antenna, I'm on my dipole. So there you go. 73, Jim. We'll catch you later, sir. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilowatt Bravo 4 Papa X-Ray Charlie.
X-Ray Charlie station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Charlie station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Kilo Charlie 4 Whiskey X-Ray Charlie.
Whiskey X-Ray Charlie, Roger. And what's the name there?
Whiskey X-Ray Charlie, Roger. And what's the name there?
The name here is Brent, Bravo Romeo Echo November Tango, Roger.
Roger, Brent. And whereabouts are you located, sir?
Roger, Brent. And whereabouts are you located, sir?
We're located in western Kentucky, about 35 miles east of Paducah.
Roger, Brent. And what radio are you running today, sir?
Roger, Brent. And what radio are you running today, sir?
I'm running a TS-890 Kenwood, and just wanted to get your opinion on the audio.
Well, gosh, we do have a setup procedure. Starts with you being sure that you're in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandpass mode. Roger, are you familiar with that?
Transmit bandpass mode. Roger, are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I'll double check for you.
Yes, so it should be in settings, and we want 100 to 2900. That will be the best performance for your radio, Roger?
900, that will be the best performance for your radio, Roger?
Roger, yeah, that's exactly where I'm setting at.
Great. Okay, so our setup procedure starts with you engaging your compressor at a 3. It's a token amount, something you'll never hear on the air, but it does exactly what we need it to do. So compressor on and at a 3. Roger?
We need it to do. So compressor on and at a 3. Roger?
Okay, that, you kind of throw me on that one. I've got the input level, is, I've got an input and output, and they're both on a hard effect, sitting on 60, Roger.
Yes, sir. Okay, take your output of the compressor to 50, and your input to the compressor at 30. So the output is at 50, and the input is at 30, Roger?
The output is at 50, and the input is at 30, Roger?
That's 30 and 50.
Roger, roger. All right, now I want you to move to your ALC with mic gain in hand, and as you say the magic word, audio, audio, I want you to stretch the first word of first part of audio out, and you become a human test generator, audio, and I want you to not stress it, just say it like you would any other word in a QSO, and I want you to adjust your mic gain until your ALC is running 2/3. Roger?
To adjust your mic gain until your ALC is running 2/3. Roger.
Stretch it out some.
Audio. That's it.
Stretch it out some.
Yes, sir. You can stretch that out just a little bit more. Audio. It's so easy to adjust that way. Just stretch that word, the first of it out. Audio, and then adjust your mic gain to where you're 2/3 on your ALC.
Audio, and then adjust your mic gain to where you're 2/3 on your ALC.
Wow, that's it right there.
All right, and so now I want you to move to your tone control EQ page.
Now I want you to move to your tone control EQ page.
Okay.
Alrighty, and I want you to give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system so that I can listen to you, Roger.
Seconds and tell me about your antenna system so that I can listen to you, Roger.
Roger. The output is about 200 watts. An AL 811 amp on a dipole at about 35 feet at about 35 feet. Roger.
Yes, sir. Now, what kind of an equalizer do you have? Is it a 3-band equalizer, 8-band, or what do you got there?
Yes, sir, do you have? Is it a 3-band equalizer, 8-band, or what do you got there?
It's just a standard TS890. It's just the EQ it's on here. It goes from 0.3 to 5.1 kilohertz.
All right, so how many controls do you have? Is that an 8-band?
All right, so how many controls do you have? Is that an 8-band?
It's 18.
Okay, so you have 2 controls for each band or 3?
So you have 2 controls for each band or 3?
Let me put that another way. Do you have more than 1 control for each frequency?
Let me put that another way. Do you have more than 1 control for each frequency?
Equalizer adjustment, correct?
I'm sorry, we doubled there. Repeat your last.
I'm sorry, we doubled there. Repeat your last.
I said you confused me a little bit on that. You are talking about the TX equalizer adjustment, correct?
Yes, sir. And, normal equalizer would be a 3-band, bass, mid-range, and treble. You could have a 2-band, bass, and treble. You could have an 8-band. I'm just trying to figure out what you got there, sir.
An 8-band? I'm just trying to figure out what you got there, sir.
Well, I hate to say this, but I don't really know enough about the equalizer to tell you. My readings are, it goes from like 0.3 to 5.1.
Okay, so and how many tonalities does that cover from the bottom to the top? How many controls?
It cover from the bottom to the top. How many controls?
Let me put this another way. Can you vary those frequencies, or are you locked into those frequencies specifically? In other words, can you vary the frequency of each one of those, like a parametric, or are you locked into whatever that frequency is?
Or are you locked into whatever that frequency is?
No, I can vary them. I can, there's slides. They'll vary.
All right. Do you have something at the top end in treble around 2.7K?
Something at the top end in treble around 2.7K?
Yes, I do.
Alrighty, and where is that currently at level-wise?
Already, and where is that currently at level-wise?
It's setting at a +4.
Alrighty, and is +5 max, or can you go to a +10?
Is +5 max, or can you go to a +10?
Okay, that is, it's setting at +6 right now. That is max.
Ah, okay, sounds good. Now let's. We want everything in the mid-range flat. So everything from 400 cycles to 1.6 should be flat. Cutter boost nothing, just flat 0. Roger.
Boost nothing, just flat 0. Roger.
Okay, that was 2.7, and I pushed it to +6. I'm a little new at the equalizer. I haven't had much experience with these things, Roger.
Yes, so you're sounding really good. Now I want to get your bottom end nailed down there. Do you have anything around 200 cycles, 190 cycles, 250 cycles?
Around 200 cycles, 190 cycles, 250 cycles.
Yeah, I've got yes, the 2.1, the 1.8, 1.5.
Down at the bottom end, from the bottom. What do you have at the bottom?
Down at the bottom end, from the bottom. What do you have at the bottom?
Please don't tune up on an active frequency.
Are you talking about the 0.3
Up on an active frequency?
Yeah, last thing on the bottom there. Is that 300 or 200?
Last thing on the bottom there. Is that 300 or 200?
be 300.
Okay, and what do you have below 300? Do you have anything below 300?
Okay, what do you have below 300? Do you have anything below 300?
Do not tune on an active frequency.
Set up, it starts out at 0.
Do not tune on an active frequency.
The next slide is 0.6, the next slide is 0.9, and it goes all the way up to 5.1, and that's your slides.
Yes, sir. Okay, say 300 cycles, then do that +3 from where you are. 300 cycles boost, 3 clicks from where you are.
From where you are. The 300 cycles boost, 3 clicks from where you are.
Okay, that was actually all the way up on the 200.
I'm sorry, repeat.
I'm sorry, repeat.
Okay, I just moved it 3 clicks. It was actually all the way up on the 2.1.
Are you talking at the low, on the base side, the low side, the bottom side, Roger?
At the low, on the base side, the low side, the bottom side, Roger?
Roger, if that's what that is, like I say, I don't know about the equalizer. I'm just telling you what the setting, what it is, and it's that is the 2.1 setting goes from a +6 all the way down, to a negative, I think -14, and I brought it down 3 clicks.
Yes, sir, Brent, and I just moved down to the Georgia SDR, and you're crystal clear down there. So what I want to do, I think you're sounding beautiful, but I want to get some nice recording from you. Why don't you give me about 15 seconds and tell me the best thing you like about amateur radio, Roger?
15 seconds, and tell me the best thing you like about amateur radio, Roger?
Roger. Well, first of all, I'd like to say appreciate you taking the time to help me check the audio. And I've been inactive for several years, so I've forgotten a lot. And I enjoy getting in here and meeting new people and making new friends and DXing. I just enjoy the hobby all the way around, Roger.
Yes, sir. Beautiful recording, Brent. Now, I want you to do one thing extra. I want you to go back to your ALC meter with mic gain in hand, and I want you to reset your ALC reading at mid-scale at 2/3 by using the word audio. You know, we've done a lot of EQing there, and anytime you, like when you change your microphone to another microphone, or when you change your EQ, you should always go back to your ALC meter and verify that your level is correct. So go ahead and reset your ALC by saying the word audio and manipulate the mic gain control into your ALC is showing 2/3. Roger?
Control into your ALC is showing 2/3. Roger?
Roger. Audio. That's 2/3. And the processor is actually turned off.
Okay, gosh, you should leave that on because it doesn't do much, but it does help, in taking your level, not necessarily so much up off the floor, but it also acts as takes the top off if you happen to get hot on the mic. So I do recommend that compressor be on at a 3 and just leave it on at a 3, Roger. It's something you will never hear it on the air, Roger.
Just leave it on at a 3, Roger. Something you will never hear it on the air, Roger.
Roger. Okay, I turned it back on. I had just forgot a while ago to turn it back on, Roger.
Yes, sir. That looks really good. And I'd leave it just like that. And we'll be posting this up on YouTube by noon tomorrow. So you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. It'll take you right to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2,300 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. Roger?
In a series of 2,300 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. Roger?
Roger. Okay, sir. I appreciate it very much, and you have a good afternoon.
Yes, sir, Brent, 73, sir. You have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. And with that, gosh, I see by the clock on the wall, there's a dead fly. So we got to get out of here. We've enjoyed it, and hopefully you have. And if so, if you want to hear your audio, go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. We'll take you to this recording on YouTube, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. So with that, we'll say 73, and this is KC9VKV, returning the frequency back to normal amateur radio use. KC9VKV clear.
Normal amateur radio use. KC9VKV clear.